If you love Baltimore sports, you'll love WNST.net.
Gene, you were the first coach I ever met, man. I mean,
how about that?
Yeah, man. Welcome in. How you doing?
Good, very good. Just great to be here in Baltimore, especially Thanksgiving. We're here all the time. My son here lives in near Lutherville, and we come up here. Now we've been making this trip 17 years or so from Chicago. And I couldn't be in a better place than Baltimore on Thanksgiving Day.
Well, I'll tell you what, weather's changing, all that. You've been in Chicago how many years now?
17. We're going on our 17th season with the Chicago Wolves.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
So,
let me tell you, you think you're doing that. When I look at you and met you at 15 years old, I'm going,
true.
Oh, is this serious? Oh, my goodness.
Well, now run everybody through the whole story here.
Well,
this is 1984.
That's right.
You had an unbelievable team. It was
Yes.
it was 16 wins in a row. It was a professional hockey record at that time for a professional organization, right?
Yes, we did, and we went all the way to the finals of Sherbrooke. And
that guy Roy, Patrick Roy.
Wow.
Yeah,
Roy,
yeah, whatever. We didn't know how to call him then, but
he could stop the puck, and he was out of junior, and I'll never forget. They brought him in because they could bring him in if he was a junior, and they brought him and Richer. Remember Richer?
Stéphane Richer.
They brought like 5 guys in because the Montreal Canadiens. It's just our luck. They missed the playoffs. So they brought in.
They loaded it up.
That's right. They loaded up that team. Sure. And I'll never forget it because I planned the first 2 games in Baltimore, and I planned it so that they would. We played 2 games and then miss. There would be 1 game and then miss 2 days, and then play the second game. I thought, well, then they would stay here, for a couple of days, and they'd be in town. When you know it, they flew in by charter. The Montreal Canadiens, which they probably never flew all year.
Well, they had all the money in 1984,
They had all the money.
right?
They flew in, stayed here for 4 days. Oh, no, pardon me. They flew in, played the game, flew back, practiced at home, came back, flew again, and they put the whole dynamic of the Montreal Canadian organization behind the Sherbrooke team. And then they beat us in the 7th game.
Yeah, it was an exciting time, man. And I was a fan that summer, working at the News American, being an intern. It was the summer of '84, and the Mary Lou Retton and the Olympics and all that stuff. And then I got put on the beat in October, and you must have thought, where did they send me to coach hockey? With the 16-year-old kid down in the locker room every night, but that's who I was. I mean,
that's what they would do. When you're in the American League, they're going to bring in some young kid and put him on. Then, but you know what? You could see you were going places.
Where was I going?
Well, I don't know, but you sure were into it. I'll tell you, it was great. And to see you where you've gone, it's just America. You worked with some great guys, though. George Taylor.
I was getting ready to say, let's talk about George Taylor and Jimmy Jackson, because I can't let you come on here without telling some stories about these guys.
George Taylor, I can remember we took our first 4 trips, and he would come on the bus. 4 trips, we wanted to use the same bus lines that the old Clippers used.
Okay.
And let me tell you.
And George had been covering hockey since you were a player.
That's right, when he was in the 60s. So we rent the same company. Wouldn't you know it? I think they had the same buses. They broke down 4 times in a row. And I'll never forget one time we broke down on 83. And there's George Taylor, and it's cold, and he had his coat on and his big overcoat and sitting there. And I said, George, no, Gene, everything's fine. And thank God when we broke down, we were on 83, there was a fence, and we were right by the state troopers' place.
Okay.
I had to climb a fence, go over into the state troopers' building, and tell them, "Would you get me some cabs?" And they took the cabs, and we got the cabs. We went back to the state troopers' place, stayed there while they brought us another bus.
Now, I think
never complained.
If you love Baltimore sports, you'll love WNST.net.